My culture was awful, was really quite awful. I think it's Pat Lencioni that says conflict with trust is simply the pursuit of truth. And we had plenty of conflict, but we didn't have very much trust. And so there wasn't a whole lot of pursuit of truth. There was more pursuit of individual agendas. So what I learned was I had to go first. So when there's lack of trust, you go first. That's what you do. And I had to be open. You see, as a business owner, and particularly one that hadn't been involved in a lot of other businesses prior to starting my own, I had this picture in my mind about what a leader should be, right? And it turns out that picture was not at all accurate. So I believed a leader had to be strong. A leader had to at times be forceful, and a leader had to have all the answers, and if they didn't have all the answers, they better, by gosh, know where to go to get them. And this view almost of the captain on the horse, right? The old war photos, right? And his sword at his side. That was my mental picture of what a leader would look like and was supposed to be. And it turns out that was all wrong. It really was. And so as a result of that, I covered up my weakness. I covered up my failures. I tried to avoid talking about the things that I'd done that didn't work out so well. And as a result of that, I missed out on this tremendous opportunity to connect with these people in an authentic way, right? So here are all these people that have had their own failures, their own challenges, exercised their own poor judgment, all these things, and they're looking at me and thinking I've got it all together. Because in some ways it worked, in other ways it didn't, but in some ways this worked, and people thought that I was superhuman in some ways. And so I'm a pretty likable guy, I like to think at least, and I learned that my people were afraid of me. These people that I cared so much about were afraid of me, and I just could not get my head wrapped around it. I could not understand it. I never screamed at anyone. I tried very, very hard to respect each individual within the organization, always. But turns out that the reason they were afraid of me is because they believed I was better than they were. And that just couldn't be further from the truth. I had made every mistake they'd made, at least once, and unfortunately some of them several times, you know. So when I began to open up and share the folly along with the wisdom, the mistakes along with the successes, the failures that I experienced personally, professionally, as well as the things that had gone well, people began to respond with openness of their own. They began to share those weaknesses with one another, right? When they saw me doing that, I had to go first. And that created, over time, this is something that happens over a period, I would say, of 3 to 4 years culturally is what it took to really build an environment where people could be safe being themselves. And what we saw was as people came out of their shells and became themselves, became willing to just be radically authentic is the way I would put it, we moved the ball forward so much faster. So much faster. We got so much more done when people were able just to put themselves out there, focus on the work, and pull together. I was afraid that if I revealed these things, that no one would follow me. If people only knew who I was, people wouldn't follow me. And what I learned was that the more I revealed, the more they followed. So I'd ask you this: what is a low-risk way that you could just go first and be vulnerable? What's the worst that could happen?